Hey there, Girl Campers. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Camper Podcast, where we believe there is no wrong way to camp like a girl. I'm Lesa McDermott, and today we are diving into a topic that every RVer needs to know about: the proper care of your gray and black tanks. Joining me is Matt Foxcroft, owner of Liquified, a leading product designed to keep your tanks clean and odor-free. Whether you're brand new to RVing, a seasoned pro, Matt is going to share tips, tricks, and common mistakes to avoid so you can keep your rig running and smelling its best. Let's get started.
Hey, RVers! Any way you explore, explore protected. With Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. They make it easy to quote, and the process takes as little as 4 minutes. Get a quote now. Insure your passion.
Welcome back, everybody. I am so excited to have Matt Foxcroft on our Girl Camper podcast today. He is an expert extraordinaire for all things, well, poopy. Matt is the owner and founder of Liquify, among other things, and he also is with Matt's RV Reviews. So Matt is an RVing expert, and he's going to talk to us today about maintaining our black and gray tanks, because what perfect timing, we're all starting to unwinterize our tanks, well, our campers and stuff, but that includes our tanks. So welcome, Matt.
Thank you, and thank you for the warm introduction. I love that. If I get my little hearts going on, there you go. Um, I hate the word expert. I don't feel like I'm an expert, but here's what I will say: if anybody knows a thing or two about a stinky toilet, it's this guy.
Well, welcome. We're glad to have you on here.
Thank you so much.
So let's dive right in, because I know you got a time constraint. So we're gonna hit it hard here. Let's talk about what are some of the biggest mistakes that you see RVers making when it comes to their gray and their black tanks.
Great. So, some big mistakes that people have when it comes to black tank. Well, first and foremost, hopefully you guys don't have any black and gray tank issues. It really is
Mm,
the stinkiest and crummiest problem to have. Some bullet points that I like to tell people, just some generalized rule of thumb, is leaving your tank valves open while hooked up. You definitely don't want to do that. Gray tanks, it allows like a biofilm to build up. But not only that, when it's all hooked up, that's how those gnats or whatever, those poop flies can come in, and you really want to wait. And then also that's also how you get a poo pyramid, because
right.
there's not enough water in your holding tank. So you can keep everything hooked up, but keep your valves closed, let the water build up, and then dump so it all flows down properly. Um, another big mistake, people don't use enough water.
Mm,
Water is a big one. Um, you know, water. It's funny because there's really two rules of thumb, two schools, I should say, between like um an enzyme and bacteria based toilet treatment and the geo method or the pine sol and calgon.
mhm.
And we're kind of at war with each other, but the one thing we both can come together on is water. Water. You just need enough water. Another thing is you don't want to, something else that we agree on is you don't want to use harsh chemicals that kills the beneficial bacteria in your holding tank. And then with that said, you also don't want to neglect your black tank, and you want to do routine cleaning annually. Every 6 months, annually, get a professional deep cleaning in there, get somebody to shoot a high spray nozzle up there, um, and really get a deep cleaning.
What if you don't have someone in your area that actually does that? Like, where I live here in the Black Hills, I don't know of anybody that actually will do that.
So we partner with this company called Tank Rangers,
Mhm.
and what's so great about tank rangers is they're all RVers. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you're in the Black Hills. Um, I'm assuming that's the Dakotas, right?
Yes. Yep. South
Okay,
Dakota.
okay, just making sure. So, yeah, you might be stuck because you're in the Dakotas in the wintertime, right?
Hmm.
But in the summertime, that's where people go, you know? And so, there's a lot of traveling, tank cleaning people. Again, Liquified, we partner with tank rangers, and so we want people to use tank rangers. But there's also clean tanks, there's also healthy tanks, and there's also, if you go on the NRVTA, there's a lot of independent tank cleaning people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
obviously we have our allegiance, but honestly, whatever gets your tanks cleaned, I don't care who the company is. Just make sure you put a high pressure hose up in that thing.
That you said keep your valves open. Did you also say keep your valve? Did I hear you right? You said keep your valve not open, closed. Keep your
Yes.
valves closed on your gray tank also?
Yeah, you should be doing it
Okay.
on the gray tank as well. My opinion, the gray tank isn't as big of a deal, but you know,
Okay.
so the gray tanks can sometimes be dirtier than the black. Again, that gray literally the gray tank's like a shade of gray. You can leave it open,
Hmm.
but I recommend still leaving it closed because there's food particles that get in there and everything. And again, more water in the gray tank, that's gonna help clean your black. That's gonna help clean your hose when the water goes down.
That makes sense. And I actually did a video a long time ago talking about the importance of water, water, water. Because I think, especially with new RVers, they get a camper and they're like, oh my God, we got to conserve our water. So, use as little as possible at all times. But that's not always a good thing because you do need a tsunami of water to push everything out of those tanks when you go to dump them. If
Absolutely.
Somebody should make a video, like the guy that made the video with the ice treatment. We'll talk about that, and he's driving around in his truck and he has the clear plexiglass box in the back of
Yeah.
his truck and he stuck ice in there and he's showing how that method does not really work to
Fact.
clean
Yep.
your tanks. And that was so educational. Somebody should make hit Matt. Somebody should make a video of a plexiglass thing showing a little bit of water going in and how it just leaves everything when the tank gets dumped versus a full tank getting dumped.
Well back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well
But that
back.
also touches on, yeah, how the very popular misconception of the ice in the tank is doing really anything for you. And it really doesn't, other than the benefit of adding more water to your tanks.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
So what is the best method to prevent clogs and buildups? We'll just start with the black tanks. What can people do to yeah, not get clogs in there?
Yeah. So first and foremost, whenever let's take like a reset. So you pull, you dump, everything's clean. Now you shut your valves. Um, you when you pour your toilet treatment or whatever you're happy with, Pine Sol and Calgon and enzyme bacteria based toilet treatment, even the cheaper chemicals, whatever makes you happy. When you put that in your holding tank, you want to fill up a gallon or two, or possibly even 3 gallons of water in there so it all has time to mix in and you're not pooping in an empty bucket. There's
Mm.
already water for the baseline. Um, you want to, my opinion, just an opinion, you do want to add a enzyme and bacteria based toilet treatment so that it's going to help break down solids and prevent the poo pyramids from forming instantly. And then whatever you do, you don't want to let your holding tank dry out. That's like the big thing.
Uh,
And again, it's funny because it's pretty much like I'm gonna be saying like the same thing like water, but you don't want your tank to dry out at the same time. The more moisture, the more water that's in there, the more it's breaking down the solids, the more it's helping prevent the poo pyramid. And when there's no poo pyramid and all the waste is below the water line, it prevents the odor from ruining your camping trip.
that makes sense. Yeah, people think about, if they ever dropped a paper towel or something that was started out wet on a countertop and then walked away, and several hours later, it's now dry as rock and it's stuck to that countertop. Well, that's what can happen in your black tank if you don't keep a level of water in there at all times.
Yep.
You're going to now have things that are cemented to the sides and to the bottom and the walls. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely keep something in there. Is there anything that RVers should avoid putting in their black tanks?
Okay. So three big things is you don't want to do baby wipes.
Mm,
Even if, by the way, I love those little wipes. What do I got? Cool Dudes or something? Dude wipes.
Dude
Like,
wipes.
and let me tell you, it's like a little kiss after using the toilet, right? And it feels awesome and it feels clean. And they're marketed as flushable, but not RV flushable, right? No feminine products, no paper towels, no scraps of food. Um, and the food is more for the grade tank as well because the food gets moldy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Um, and then you want to use very thin toilet paper, RV safe toilet paper, septic safe toilet paper. Just you don't want to use the super Charmin heavy duty thick, let me wipe myself with a quilt type of toilet paper. You know, and don't get me wrong, you can, and if that's what you like, be my guest, but the thinner the better. Because when you put it in the water and it soaks and you put a black tank flush, it's gonna help disintegrate even easier.
right, right. It's the difference between, trying to dissolve up a paper towel versus
A tissue.
Kleenex.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, you wanna help, move that right along, for lack of a better word. So what happens if somebody does get the dreaded poop pyramid and they get a clog? What should someone do?
Just call up Matt from Matt's RV Reviews and just trade your RV in. It's already ruined. Just buy a new one. No, so what people want to do is they want there's a couple options. Okay. So selfish plug, we have a product called Tank and Sensor Cleaner, okay, which is a more concentrated version of Liquified. So what I like to tell people is it's a bottle of product that it costs $19.99 and it is the Drano or the Drain X or whatever of the RV industry. So you fill up your holding tanks, you pour the whole bottle in, and you let it sit for 24 to 48 hours. You then pull your tanks, black tank flush, and hopefully it broke everything down. And I say hopefully because we don't know the situation of your sensors or the poop pyramid. We don't know the context of it. And what I like to tell people is that is going to be our worst rated product. I think we're at like 4.1 stars on Amazon, which is really bad, out of 5, by the way. But, it's really bad because, again, people buy it and they think it's magic in a bottle,
Mm,
and it works very, very well if the problem isn't super severe. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
I like to say is and I explain this to people when I'm at a show and I'm selling them that product, like, "Hey, there's a 50-50 chance." But it's a great way to spend only 20 bucks that should take care of the problem. Um, and then if that doesn't work, in extreme cases, the other 50%, maybe 40% of the time, you got to get a professional deep cleaning and just get a high pressure hose in there that's gonna break up the boo pyramid, clean the walls, and get everything taken care of.
Yeah. And you
Yep.
can get those gadgets, that you're talking about. Camco, I think, makes, a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
different versions, and you
Oh,
can
yeah.
find.
Shout out Camco. Yeah. So, like, kind of, I said step 1 and step 2. So, a
Mhm.
step 1.5 is to get that Camco Rhino Blaster or the, Valterra Flush King or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
One of those that will, like, backfill it. And if you get that plus step one, that will do a lot better job. But again, sometimes, I mean, like we got a Tijuana Flats down here in Florida. Shout out Tijuana Flats, my favorite taco spot. And sometimes you just need to get a deep cleaning.
Yeah. Well, word of caution too, if you get one of those little things to stick down your toilet to do the cleaning, make sure you turn the water off before you pull it back out.
Oh, really? Oh no.
Just not experience here, just I can imagine there have been a few people that have done that.
Dude,
What the
hey,
hell?
you're not a real RVer until you turn your black tank flush on, close your valve, get distracted, and then you come back and you flood your RV with poop water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
That
or
happened in Ohio last year.
mhm. Yep, we've had that a few times where the step flush thing didn't go all the way back up, and yeah, so now anybody who stays in our camper gets that warning. They get to clean the carpet if that happens.
Oh, yeah.
So, what are your thoughts? We've talked a little bit about tank treatments, but how necessary are the tank treatments versus just relying on water and flushing alone? That's kind of a loaded question, but
Yeah, so I'm gonna be biased, obviously, and this is what I like to tell people. Like, you gotta remember, I'm sitting on the toilet for the face of Liquified, so I'm always going to be biased. But here's what I will say. And you could track me down, and I will fall on the sword till the day I die. When I'm at an RV show, Tampa or Quartzsite or any RV show, and I'm selling Liquified or representing Liquified, there is people, very rarely, but there is people, excuse me for a second, that come up to me and they say, I don't use any peg treatments. I don't use any Pine Sol and Calgon. I only use water, but I want to try your product. I stop them. I say, hang on. You have no odors. You have no sensor issues. You have no nothing. You only use water. Don't start using a toilet treatment because for some reason you're good and healthy or whatever. Um, I always like to say if it's not broke, don't fix it. Right.
mhm.
With that said, again, I come from the school of using a toilet treatment. Um, my poop does stink, so I like to cover it up with a nice fragrance, either a light orange or a lavender. And then, again, the enzymes and bacteria with it breaking away, it just makes it so it prevents any sensor issues in the future. And that's the whole thing with just water. Like you can still get sensor issues, but some
Mhm.
people just get really, really lucky. Their toilet was on a good angle you know, and they eat the right foods, and they don't have any odors. So God bless them, but that ain't me.
Their poop doesn't stink.
Hey, whatever works for them.
It's like weather and temperature impact black tank maintenance.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So hot weather, one, it just heats everything up in there, which stinks. And the reason why is because it's going to accelerate. I'm sorry, I made notes for all this, right? So it's going to accelerate the odor and bacteria growth. And so with that said, you're going to want to use more toilet treatment when it gets hot. So when you look on the back of anybody's bottles of toilet treatments, even our competitors, it always says use double the amount once you're in a certain temperature
Huh.
because again the bacteria and the odor really starts to stick out when it gets hot. It's funny. Go on Amazon and don't do this, but you can do this. Go on Amazon and look at all the one-star reviews for my product, for my competitor's product, and they all come in July and August because because sometimes and if you deep down, like they're like, yeah, I was in Arizona and this product didn't work. I'm like, buddy, you're in Arizona in August. You're not using enough water and you need to triple up on toilet treatment. So I I just, you know, I'm I'm friendly with the people over at Unique, and we were talking about that, just kind of like the doomsday of product reviews in July and August. Sometimes it just gets hot and you need to double up, you know?
You know what? I never realized that, to be honest with you. Um, that's good advice. It makes total sense when you think about like dog doo sitting
Oh yeah.
outside. It's gonna be a lot stinker in the hot weather than it is in the winter. So
Oh
good
yeah.
advice. So, well, before we jump in to talk about more about gray tank issues, we're gonna take a quick break for today's other show sponsor, Go RV. We'll be right back.
What does it mean to camp like a girl?
It means charting your own course,
It means following your passions
It means building your circle.
sharing experiences.
and making memories that will last a lifetime.
It means conquering obstacles.
Finding your freedom.
And learning that so much more is out there for you to discover.
So, what does it mean to camp like a girl? Well, that's for you to decide.
Because behind every great trip plan is a woman. Start your adventure today at GoRVing.com.
All right. So let's talk about gray tanks now, Matt. Why do gray tanks? You touched on this a little bit, but let's go back to it. Why do gray tanks sometimes get odors in them, and how can RVers prevent them? Because I think oftentimes they're shocked, like this should just be water. So why does that happen?
Yep. So the gray tank, you got to think about it. It's the shower and it's your sink. Food particle gets in there, your skin particle gets in there, hair follicles get in there, every dish soap scum gets in there, everything gets in there. Um, and so it really is a mess. It's funny because a lot of times gray tanks are worse than black tanks because the black tank is very simple. We all know what's down there. And maybe that's what it is. Like it's the level of expectations, right? We expect the black tank to be a black tank, but nobody expected that with the gray tank.
That's
And you know, greases get down there and
hair
just
hair
a whole
conditioner.
all of it, all
Yeah.
of it. So yeah, no, the gray tank has issues as well.
So what should RVers be using is there things that they can be putting in the gray tank also? 'Cause
Yes.
what should they
Yes.
be doing?
Your RV toilet treatment for your black tank also works for your gray tank.
Okay.
So you can pour it down either tank. Now, again, selfish plug, we just made a gray tank treatment, which is marketed for your gray tank, but it's literally just Liquified, lemon scented in a different bottle and marketed and presented different. And the reason why we did that is because what we found is our customers don't like the concept of taking a bottle, pouring it down their black tank, and then pouring that same bottle in their sink.
Mm.
So we made a different bottle design, a different fragrance and everything. One kind of looks like a Mrs. Myers, like a clean dish soap almost. And then the other one has the little pre-fill. You can use your black tank for your gray tank, and you can use your gray tank for your black tank.
Okay. Marketing.
Yep.
But necessary. So what should people look for when they are looking for tank cleaning products?
Yep. Enzyme and bacteria.
Okay. And
I
why? What do they do?
Yeah, because that's what's going to. So there's two types. There's your cheaper chemical, which all they do is deodorize the smell. They just mask the odor. By the way, no shame. That's just what they do, right? And they're a lot more affordable. You can get them for probably half the price, 2/3 the price of the specialty products. The specialty products is going to be an enzyme bacteria base that liquefies your waste, cleans your sensors, and breaks down the poo pyramid. What I like to tell people is obviously there's going to be people watching that. They're going to throw up their arms. They're going to be like, oh, of course Matt would say that. He's with Liquified. Shout out to Unique. Unique's a good product. Shout out Tank Hex RVX. It's
Okay.
like the RX or whatever. Century Chemical with their Travel John product. You know, just to name a few. I have a whole video and I say, if you don't want to support us or our product, at least buy these products because these products are still very, very good with the enzymes and the bacteria breaking down the waste.
Well, if anybody ever wants to like do a treat or a test for themselves on it, go grab a handful of dog food,
Yep.
stick it in a baggie, put
Yep.
some water, maybe throw some toilet paper on it, and then, whichever method of their choice or compare different ones if you want to try the pine sol natural way, whatever, versus an actual tank treatment, do a couple bags and see which one breaks down the dog food and the toilet paper the quickest.
Yep.
And I think you might really be
yeah.
surprised.
With that said, the Pine Sol and Calgon won't break down the dog food, but their whole thing is that it's a surfactant and it makes it easier to dump. With that said, shout out to Ross from RV Tips and Tricks. He has an amazing video showing you the Calgon method with the surfactant on the side versus an enzyme bacteria based treatment, and which one worked better. And then with that said, if you are sold on the enzyme bacteria based, there's other YouTube videos. Josh from RV Gears and Far, he did that experiment showing, Happy Camper, Unique, Liquified, TST, Wallex, just a whole plethora of brands. And he gives his feedback on which ones work the best.
I actually did that all too, but I never published the video. This was pre-Liquified. You guys it's probably just an apple in your eye at the time. And it was very revealing because I did Happy Camper. I did the natural one with the Calgon. I did a Camco treatment and I did Unique, and Unique by far broke everything down the quickest, like within 30 minutes. I think it was amazing.
Unique's a great product. Yeah. We strive to beat Unique, we think our product's a little better, but again, if you don't like me or us or our product, definitely always go with Unique. They're a great company.
That's nice of you to say.
Yep. Nope. I like Ricky and the Unique crew. So it's really funny, not to get off the subject. Like when we do marketing stuff, social media, we'll take little jabs at them and they take little jabs at us, and I'll call them and I'll be like, dude, that was so funny because I'm like a weird business person. I look at competition and rivalries in a different way than everybody else because I will say this, Unique's a better company today because of us, because we made them elevate. And now we are going to be a better company next year, not than them, but than ourselves, because now we need to elevate above them. And then it's just a game of elevation and one-upping each other, just to be a better company.
I love that.
Competition breeds success.
It does. There's always more room in the sandbox for more people. So, Matt, should people be mixing their tank treatments? Like, well, this time I'm going to try Liquify. Next time I'm going to try Unique. And then after that, I'm going to try Camco. I mean, is that a good idea to be mixing basically kind of different chemicals and stuff?
So I don't want to comment on that.
I've heard it's not.
No, you're so good. You're so good. I don't think it's a good idea. Personally, yeah, I don't know. This is a slippery slope. Personally, I did, because what I would do is, when we were experimenting with creating Liquified, dude, I was throwing everything down my toilet. But the proper answer that I want people to understand is the answer is no. Don't do that. Like, especially when it's like the Pine Sol and Calgon versus an enzyme bacteria based, because the pine sol is killing the enzymes and bacteria that the
The tank
enzyme
treatment's doing.
bacteria treatment's doing. With that said, I don't think it's a huge um it's a huge not to do if like somebody's currently using Unique and then they want to try Liquified, or if somebody using Liquified and they want to go back to the Dark Nemesis Unique. It doesn't matter. Um because I feel like they're that same level of treatment. But again, overall, it's not recommended. Um but me, man, I got a black cauldron down there, you know. When I was starting Liquify, I mean, I was throwing everything down there, you know, doing R&D.
Well, that's a little different. What
Yeah.
about bleach? Should anybody ever
Oh, never bleach, never bleach. Yeah, because the bleach is gonna kill the enzymes and bacteria.
and it'll probably dry out some of the seals too, I would imagine,
Yep.
down there.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. We talked a little bit about the tank sensors. Those are a constant, I think, issue for people. It doesn't matter how empty you get your tanks, those sensors are always showing, dirty. So I'm excited to hear that you've got a product that will help kind of clean those off. And I think too that that's one of those things people don't realize that they could actually change out to a better sensor.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, they can. So, if anybody's interested, that company's name is called ATC, and, they make all the sensors, unless you know of somebody else. Did you know
I,
if that does? Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure if there was, like, a sponsorship plug there or something.
oh no, no, not at
Oh,
all. I
but,
just know Mark
eight
Polka's talked about how easy they are to switch out and had a sensor that he recommends
yeah,
for it
yeah,
from
but
RV 101.
like, and I have a whole video on this as well, because it's a really simple system, but then they have some that goes on the outside of the tank that's like not infrared, but something like that. Some alien technology there. Um, and but the reason why everybody has issues is because most people use the probes, and the gunk and the residual of your toilet paper and your human waste and everything will sit on the sensors and then give you false negatives.
Mm, yeah, yeah. So, well, I'm excited to kind of try out your cleaning thing because there's nothing more frustrating going. Come on, I just dumped it. I know I did well. I know I had a ton of water in there.
Yep. Yep. It happens.
Is there anything now that you can, cassette toilets or staying in the smaller campers? Like I'm got a partnership this summer with New Camp, and I have their 360 clamshell, and it has a cassette toilet in it. Is there anything that I can be doing with one of those?
Bow, bow, bow. Shout outs, new camp. Let me get this. Oh, now it's not working. There you nuked.
Oh,
Nice. That's gonna be exciting for you.
thank you.
Uh, no, the cassette toilets are small. You know, what's nice about our product is we have a pre-measuring spout, so
Mhm.
you don't need to use 1 full ounce. You can use a 1/4 ounce or a 1/2 ounce. Put it in there, slosh it around with water. Cassettes are really tough. They're only 5 gallons.
Yeah.
Um, you know, water, as much water as you can. But the
Okay.
more water you use in a 5 gallon tub, the more you're dumping it. So it's tough, but people do it. We have a lot of B van customers and they love Liquify.
That's good to know. Yeah, that was kind of a last minute question there that was kind of resonating with me going, wait a minute, there's all these cassette toilets out there. What can they do? So,
Yep. Exactly.
so like, what's a simple hack? These are getting to the pro tips. What's a simple hack that RVers maybe don't know about that they can do to keep their tanks in great shape that we maybe haven't talked about already?
Oh. So I don't know how to answer this. I don't know how to answer this other than how we answered it, which is just water.
Water.
I mean,
Yeah.
I that's such a boring answer. Like, I wish I could give people like a funner answer, but it's just water. Just conserve water. Just don't skimp out on it. Just scale it down. If you're boondocking. Um, And then if somebody does like that extreme boondocking, right? Like they're in the Arizona, and right.
Me.
And if if it becomes too much, again, I'm taking people off my product now, but get a composting toilet. You like to do that
Oh,
off grid, and you like to go in the middle of nowhere with people or with nobody, I mean, and there's no Honeywell service that can suck out your tanks and refill you
mhm.
up with water. A composting toilet's a great alternative. And then if you get a composting toilet, you don't need any product.
Interesting. I know one of our girl camper guides is, she's experimenting or testing out some composting toilets this year.
But
So,
hey, no shame in that, like ultimately, again, if you like something, go do it, like I don't want a composting toilet, but hey, I know plenty of people that live by it and love it, and you know what? Good for them.
yeah,
And
I'm,
and again,
yeah,
it's an alternative. So
right,
whatever.
right. And she's doing it. She's got a perfectly good GeoPro with a wet bath in it, but she hates the whole dumping, hooking up and dumping. So she's thinking a composting toilet is going to be the way for her to go. And I'm anxious to hear what her opinions are going to be after this camping season with it, which
Love
way
it.
she prefers.
I love it. Whatever
Yeah,
works.
yeah. So, well, that's all the questions I have for you today, Matt. Is there anything else? Any other pro tips we didn't cover that you can think of?
No, that's pretty much it on my end. What about you guys? I mean, what's your plans for the summer? Like, why if people don't subscribe to your show right now, why should they?
Oh my God, why should they? Because we have so much happening right now. There are such big things happening at Girl Camper. We have got tons of trips lined up. We are lining up international trips. I've got one going to Peru to Machu Picchu, but not this year, 2026.
Hey,
Um, and we are going a lot of different directions camping wise. You don't have a camper? That's okay. No wrong way to camp like a girl. Come do a 125-mile through hike with me in June. I've got 12 other women signed up. We're going to be backpacking the entire time. It's going to be fun. Maybe you're new to camping. Check us out. We're a great way to test the toes in the water. You can hammock camp, car camp, get an RV cabin. If you need an RV, check out with Matt. I'm sure he can help hook you up with an RV. Yeah, there's just a lot of fun things that are happening over Girl Camper that we are pretty dang excited about. But
can I tell you
and
something? I
and if you
meet
don't have an RV, I think I know how you might be able to win one.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, before I do another selfish plug, I will say that the community that Girl Camper has created, has founded, has pulled together is one of the absolute strongest communities, and not brethren, but because it would be female. But what's the female version of brethren?
Um,
Not like a brotherhood, like a sisterhood.
kind
Like,
of sisterhood. Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm really not good with words and SATs and stuff, but the community around Girl Camper, whenever I go to a show or, um, not a show, but like courtside or, um, I was at Sun and Fun, there's always a community of girl campers there, and it's like, you're never alone, and it's just a great community, and
Thank
so
you.
I really applaud you guys for that. And then, yeah, if you don't have an RV, you can actually win a free RV. Go to liquifiedrv.com/sweepstakes. Um, maybe slash girl camper or something. We've linked it down below. I forget what yours is, but we are giving away a 2025 Alliance Delta ML206. You have till May 31st to enter, and we will be doing the drawing live on June 2nd. And this isn't like no BS giveaway. Like, we actually bought the unit and we hired a sweepstakes company to make all the rules and everything official. And the reason why we're doing that is to encourage people to buy Liquified from our website rather than like Amazon and stuff, truthfully, because we pay so many fees with Amazon, right?
Mm,
And so we're trying to incentivize our customers to buy from us directly. And because of that, we're doing a fun free giveaway, and it's going to be an amazing time.
Absolutely. And it'd be so cool if a girl camper actually won it.
Let us know. There is no purchase necessary. You get 5 free entries for filling out the survey. But if you do buy Liquified, you get more entries. But again, you don't need to buy it to win it. It's funny. I hate to say this, but I will say this. I kind of hope somebody wins it that didn't buy Liquified. Just to like prove to everybody, like, hey, this isn't like a sales gimmick. Like it's a real sweepstakes that cost us a lot of money.
Yeah,
But I think it's something fun that we can do.
that is cool. We've done them in the past. And yeah, they are expensive to do, but they are fun to do. Definitely. So, well, Matt, thank you so much for coming on today. Wealth of information as always, and a lot of fun. I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And a huge thank you to Matt Foxcroft for sharing his tank care wisdom with us. If you want to learn more about Liquify and how it can make your RV life a little easier and a lot fresher, be sure to check out the show notes for links and resources. And hey, if you are ready to hit the road and make some new friends, don't forget to join Girl Camper. We host hundreds of events all across the country, and we'd love to camp with you. You can find all the details and become a part of our community at girlcamper.com. And if you loved today's episode, make sure to leave us a review, share it with your camping crew, and subscribe so you never miss an adventure with Girl Camper. Until next time, stay safe, stay adventurous, and remember, there's no wrong way to camp like a girl.